Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ellison Cruz, and welcome back for more Professor Layton. In the last part, we just discovered that a potential recipient of the Reinhold fortune inheritance, Simon, was brutally murdered, although we don't know how, and we just literally found out about it. So let's make a couple of inquiries here. We've got Matthews, as well as the other man. I forgot what his name was. Let's ask him a couple of questions. Now, I did go back and get that secret puzzle I missed above him in the chandelier, so this is where that, that will reflect in our statistics here. So, do hurry and find the monster that did this. My good sir, I am no detective, I'm merely a professor. But your concerns are certainly warranted. No one is safe until that criminal is behind bars.
My sentiments exactly. I just don't understand it. Simon could be snide, but he wasn't the type to be hated. As if the two could not be mutually exclusive.
So if it was after my brother's fortune, I could very well be the fiend's next target. It's like, well, it wouldn't be a very difficult one to miss, Mr. Gordon. So, alright. Oh my god, his hand. You don't think I'd do something like this? Oh, I don't know. You did appear to be breathing rather voraciously a couple of episodes ago. Yeah, he wasn't very close to Augustus.
This talk of families has me contemplating a puzzle I once heard.
Because this is entirely the most... okay, whatever. We got number 27, Bickering Brothers. This is incredibly appropriate in the midst of a murder. 6 brothers have gathered around a table to eat dinner. Each of the brothers is prone to fighting with the siblings directly above and below him in age and can't be seated next to either of them. Also, brothers 3 and 5 got into an argument the other day and refused to sit next to each other. The eldest brother, brother 1, has already sat down at the table and is waiting for the others to start. Can you find a seating arrangement that will keep everyone from fighting with each other? I do believe we can. Now, this is just kind of one of those ones you can just do whatever you feel like at will, but the main thing here is that since 1 is going to be, the constant here, you want to have 3 and 5 on the other side of them, because for whatever reason they can totally just, they don't work on either of those areas unless you decide to flip it, which is something you very well could do. And I think this is probably the best we can do. I don't recall doing this very many different times, but I did screw up for whatever reason the first time I did this when I was so sure of it before, so...
How does this sound?
I don't know, Luke, do you think you got it? There you go. Very nice job, my little man.
Professor, I've solved it.
Solved it. Oh, God. Some of the voices I did in the early episodes are so grating, and I tried to make them grating, they were just terribly grating, and I apologize in advance for that. It's like I got in really close to the mic, and I was just blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, let's go and continue on.
Ah, yes, so that's the answer. Who would have ever have known? Hopefully this doesn't foreshadow something to something a bit more malevolent.
Alright, so we'll go catch the murderer, of course, because that is exactly what we're here. Not to find the golden apple, to solve mysteries. It's to solve murders. So, alright. Oh, and we also got a new strange gizmo here. And Bickering Brothers is now in our puzzle index. See how ironic that the Bickering Brothers would be the one who's actually the brother of the guy who died before. Whatever. Let's talk to Mr. Matthews. I think, what does he say? I'm not actually 100% familiar with what he says. Did you notice any strange characters around the manor at the time of the incident?
Matthews looks so sad. He's like, I absolutely had no idea who Simon was, but there was not a single soul to be in sight.
I didn't know about Master Simon until Inspector Helmy showed up. That must be quite unfortunate. Where's Simon's body now? And then, right here, this is the greatest investigating of all time. I was told the inspector carried out the body. He literally slumped him over his back and carried... So, it looks like we're without a lead. Oh my god.
But I found this in the room where Master Simon's body was discovered.
Wait, are you telling me you withhold evidence that could potentially dictate where the murderer happened? It's like... This is like... this is so bad for anybody to do on any circumstances. Just take something from the room where he was murdered. It's a cog so small that one could search the room and miss it. Well, that kind of goes without saying, but look, it has an engraving. Alright, so we've got dropped cogs as one of our mysteries here.
A small cog? What in the world is that? I know my wife has mentioned it a few times, but never in this circumstance.
A puzzle at a time like this? Thank you, Luke. Thank you for stating the obvious. Why in the hell would you want to do a puzzle right now? Anyway, find the dot. Puzzle number 28 worth 30 picarats, and this one Alright. You're holding an 8-pointed shape with a red dot on it. If you hold the dots, or if you hold the shape so that the red dot is in the position shown in diagram A, then flip it over, you'll see a black dot as depicted below. Now assume you're holding the shape as shown on the left side of diagram B. Where's the black dot when you flip the shape over? Now this one is actually pretty easy because this is referring to the same exact shape. So if you can determine where the red is in relation to the black when you flip it the way that they're saying, well then it becomes very easy. So we can go ahead and rotate this entire, I don't know what this is, this chakra little thing, and you can determine that it's right there. And when we go ahead and bring it over here, it will actually be on the right side, roughly 4 o'clock, I guess, or 4:30.
There we go.
I don't know, but with that, all right, very nice. We solved it. Good job, Professor Layton. You solved the mystery of the ninja equipment. So, that's right, take a look at the diagram for the answer. It's just the black dot positioning and rotating it to B and just all this other stuff. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone right now and it says the time is 6:28, so that's not very good. People are going to be home soon and we just got started with this episode. So let's continue onwards. I think people are home already, actually.
My apologies, but I'm afraid I don't know anything that would aid your investigation.
He looks so sad when he says it like that, though. Not at all. The small gear is more than enough for us to go on. Of course, you don't call yourself an inspector, but you are a professor. And of course, small cogs are all you need.
I believe you're a good man, Professor. I'm confident you will put the whole of this puzzle together.
Very nice. I appreciate the vote of confidence, Matthew. Yes, we all do. He's like, and it was very much expected. So he gives us the find the dot as well as another piece for our gizmo. Oh my god, here's Chelmy. Apparently he chummed in when we weren't aware. What does this guy got to say? Him and his fantabulous mustache.
Is this everyone who was present at the site of the crime?
Well, I don't know. Simon was there too.
I believe we are missing Ramon, sir. What he was doing in the house, I have no idea.
And Dahlia came out of nowhere.
Where is he and what on earth is he doing? Matthew, fetch Ramon at once.
To be honest, madam, I have not seen Ramon for a few hours now.
Yeah, wasn't Agnes out there? Whatever. No, hold a moment, he's a suspect too. Perhaps he fled the scene of his crime. Perhaps he did. Public enemy number one? I think so. What if the murderer got Ramon too? Who would get him and then they just disappeared? I think, actually, yeah, we might have to talk to Matthews again because I think we have to go into the door. Hey, where did Lady Dahlia go? Yes, that is what the entire audience wants to know. All two of you.
I believe Madam has retired to the adjoining room to relax on her own, but don't take my word for it. She simply disappeared out of the cutscene.
So it's only natural she'd need to rest after a terrible event like this, as if she knew Simon very well. Would you please let her know that if something you'd like to talk to her about? What do we need to talk to her? We've already found Claudia, so... Alright, Lady Dahlia might act like an ice queen, but I guess even she was shaken by today's event. What? Oh god, what an insensitive prick, Luke. I know you're from London and I know you're like 10, but still. Yeah, you'll need to start working a little bit on your sensitivity. I'm not talking about the first-person shooter kind. That was wrong of me. And then, of course, he grew by 60 years. I don't want to see her now. Just head back through the doorway on the left. And then, miraculously, the door will open and Gordon will have moved. Whoops, didn't want to click on Gordon, but I guess... Does he have to say anything? Poor Simon, murdered right here. I'm going to bring this criminal to justice. To great justice we will bring him, good sir. Alright, let's go over here. Okay, so there's actually a couple of hint coins in here that we can grab, but I think... I'm not 100%... Okay, there's one right there. There's one that's really awkwardly placed next to her head. So it looks like they came from the garden. What's a lovely vase? I think they say something else, but is it... There it is. Okay, I thought they said something else there. Oh, Posh couldn't. So back here, okay, there. You can miss that. If you talk to Lady Dahlia, instead of collecting that, you can actually miss that hint coin after this cutscene. Because for whatever reason, it respawns to another coin that's right behind her. I have a deep suspicion this murder is connected to the mystery of the golden apple. That's quite an accusation, Mr. Layton. What? It's too early to say for sure, but I think it's highly probable the two matters are linked. Well, I would not be completely surprised at that outcome.
You think that Ramon is somehow involved in all this? He was simply the ferryman, and did you see those black lips? Oh, they were so racially insensitive.
So,
I see. If that's the case, I have a request for you, Professor. Find Ramon and bring him back here to me. I'll take care of him
here on out. Secondly, I'm considered a suspect in this brutal crime. So she's got to prove her innocence today. So we will see. We'll ask around town. I appreciate your help, Professor. Alright, the good news in the parlor. So we won't actually be able to see her for probably the rest of the chapter at this point, but... with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started with chapter 3 now. We've already gotten like 2 puzzles deep, and we're already needing to search for the missing servant. So let's get this started proper, shall we? There's actually another hint coin right back here. That other one will have respawned. Whoops, didn't want to do that. There's actually... No, there's not a hidden puzzle here. But we got ourselves, very touching picture that doesn't seem to be very accurate with the timeline under which these events perspire. What is it, Professor? Oh, isn't that Lady Dahlia? She's holding a baby. No way. Oh, and by the way, a lot of these things that these people are talking about are actually on the top screen. So I apologize if for some reason some of what they're saying seems a little redundant. It's made even more redundant by the top screen. Alright, so, Lady Dahlia hasn't changed much, has she? No, she hasn't. She looks exactly the same. And so does Matthews. And so does Lady Agnes there. No, that's not Agnes. I suppose so, Professor, but even so, it makes me wonder. Maybe we can ask Lady Dahlia about it. Maybe you can, but maybe you can't. Let's grab that other hint coin that appears here only after Lady Dahlia has left, and the other one will have disappeared, so keep that in mind. For some reason, there's just the one. Better make sure I don't knock that over. Gotta make sure to write that in my notebooks, just so I don't forget. Oh, and Chelmy's here. Never mind, Lady Dahlia's out here. What am I smoking tonight? Christ, okay, let's go talk to Lady Dahlia before we go. I don't think she has anything to say. Pardon me, but we happened upon your adorable picture of you and your daughter Flora a moment ago. I beg your pardon? Yeah, it seems kind of strange because it doesn't really make sense in terms of your age and appearance as when Flora was a child. But, of course, we're mistaken because Lady Dahlia didn't have any children. Huh? My apologies, madam. I must have been mistaken. Like Luke. Get out of my way. I'm talking to Lady Dahlia. Alright, so we gotta go find Ramon and bring him back. If that's not Lady Dahlia in the photograph, then who on earth could it be? Like, you know, there's only a couple possible explanations for this. I think we should probably ask someone else about this. Alright, so, there's also Chelmy in here, so we can go give him a talk. Because, of course, much like Matthews and Corden, this is the most appropriate time to be doing some kind of puzzle. Yes, I hear you're something of a puzzle connoisseur. This puzzle was popular in London when I left. Apparently I'm English too, but my voice does not reflect that whatsoever. Alright, so this one is actually a pretty interesting puzzle, and it's kind of ones that I enjoy. It's puzzle number 29, entitled 5 Suspects. 5 suspects are being called into police headquarters for questioning. They give the following statements. A. 1 of the 5 of us is lying. B. 2 of the 5 of us are lying. C. I know these guys, and 3 of the 5 of us are lying. D. Don't listen to a word they say. Out of the 5 of us, 4 are lying. And E. All 5 of us are dirty, rotten liars. The police only want to release the suspects who are telling the truth. How many people should they let go? So the bottom screen is going to be a little redundant here, but basically to solve this, which is process of elimination, let's start with E. All 5 of us are dirty, rotten liars. If that was true, then she would be lying. Therefore, E is a complete and total farce. And of course, we get the really weird, like, red writing. It seems like very strange. Reminds me of something out of the 90s. I don't know. And so with E out of the picture, we can now go to A. 1 of the 5 of us is lying. Now, if one of her is lying, then of course that obviously means that his statement is null and void. I don't think that really made any sense, but I like coloring this thing. There's something about writing on the touchpad. It's just really pleasant. Okay. Now, for B, 2 of the 5 of us are lying for the exact same reason as A and E. B cannot possibly be true. We can get this hipster out of commission man because he is not a very cool for cats kind of man. Ah, God, I could just color this entire thing in. Okay. Now, it's down between C and D. C, I know these guys, and the 3 of the 5 of us are lying. Well, one of that can't be true, because if 1 of the 5 of us, 4 are lying, then D is obviously telling the truth. If the 4 other people are lying, even though it doesn't really look... It's like those pictures you see in the store. It's like, who do you think is the criminal in this picture, and blah, blah, blah. So,
That should do it.
there we go. And oh, by the way, the question was asking... how many people should they let go, not what letter. So,
Is the key to success.
yes, thank you very much, Professor Layton. Let's see if this clears it up a little more. That's right, every suspect accused a different number of people. If anyone was telling the truth, it had to be 1 suspect, no more, no less. The only suspect whose statement fits the condition is D. Looks like he's a free man now. So let's go put all of these 4 very different people in the exact same cell.
I suppose I should have given you a tougher puzzle to solve. That one got me for ages.
So yeah, just kind of process of elimination works best for those. So 5 suspect is now in our puzzle index, and with that having been said and done, I think we're done here. I think Matthews might be downstairs. Yeah, let's go probably talk to Matthews, make a couple of inquiries about the photo we saw. Matthew, do you have a moment? I keep calling him Matthews. It's just weird when somebody has their last name and it's like a plural or a singular version of their name. It's like, you know, John, or I don't know. I don't know anybody with the last name John. So never mind.
I'm afraid it's a picture of his wife, but I certainly understand why you would mistake one for the other.
So they were virtually identical in their appearance and every single way of their art. So it's the wife of the Baron, and it's very strange that Lady Dahlia would bear extreme resemblance to the Baron's wife. So that's kind of interesting. Is there a chance the two are relatives of one another? And that would be a plot twist for the ages. So he's like,
If only that was true. It arrived one day, the Baron arrived home, and Lady Dahlia was there, unfortunately.
so that's all he knew about his master, was that, exactly, despite being their faithful family servant for years and years and years, for days and days and days. Yeah, the stranger the whole affair starts to sound. So Lady Dahlia was added to our list of mysteries. That is something we'll be cracking sooner or later. So with that having been said and done, as we can go outside, oh, look, would you look at that? Claudia has escaped the pen once again, but nobody bats an eye. What are we to do? Apparently she has glasses in her mouth. A very morbid scene. Yeah, whatever, sorry, that's the only cat noise I'm making here. But these are... oh my god, these are utterly fabulous. They're Simon's glasses indeed, but how on earth did they end up here? Well, that's a mystery. He's like, I don't know, I just work here. I think it best if we brought this to Inspector Chelmy. I don't think he'd be very happy to hear that, but we probably... oh, well, never mind, we have no choice.
What's the matter, Mr. Layton? Did a cat stop you on your way out of the house?
So take a look at these. So, can you just look for a minute and just tell me that the police force of Saint Mystere is not the most incompetent you have ever had to deal with in your entire life. Imagine they fell off the body when it's being carried out of the village, even though the drawbridge is still up and there's nothing we can do about it. If you had enough time to manage the village, shouldn't you be searching for the Reinhold inheritance or whatever it is you're supposed to be doing?
Of course, if you continue to interrupt my investigation, I have some ideas about what you can do.
God, this guy is a jerk. You know, I'm sorry you don't have very formidable biceps, but that doesn't mean you have to take it out on us. I don't like that chummy one bit. He is very chummy. He works a smoke and he's so full of himself, and the way he treats you, Professor, is just too much. God, he's like my little, like, hound dog. Look, my boy, pay it no mind. See, Professor Layton just rubs it off. He's like, no big deal, man. Just like how he, like, has his hands like that. I love it so much. So, let's go down. Okay, now Lady Agnes is here. She wasn't here before. It's like, hey, looks like you're no longer Fishbones. Sorry, I kind of foreshadowed her being there, but I apologize.
Look at you fretting away there. Oh, whatever is the matter?
I'm just channeling Jim Carrey there for whatever reason. Sorry to trouble you, but did you see Ramon around here today? He was just here a few minutes ago. Like 3 episodes ago, he was right here.
Can't say I've seen him today, considering...
yeah, he sneaks off his job quite often, you know, for good reason. It's like, how many times do people need to actually speak to the Reinholds? It's like his job is probably one of the most redundant ones, unless he doubled as the gardener or something. But as far as I know, he just ferried people across. But with that, we've got the first instance of one-line puzzles. We'll be seeing a couple more from her a little bit later. These are actually kind of fun. Have you heard of one-line puzzles? The idea is to place your pen to paper and draw a shape without lifting your pen from the pad or retracing any part of the line. You can, however, cross lines. Now that you're familiar with the concept, look at the 4 pictures below. One of them cannot be drawn with one line. Which is it? Well, this one you can't really... there is ways you can see how to solve this, and we'll get into that next time, but for the most part, we can just go ahead and test these very particular ones all on our own, and it's not very difficult whatsoever, because like they said, you can cross lines, but you just can't retrace any of them, so that is completely valid, and the bullseye, I guess, works. So let's go over here and do this one as well. This one actually is, I don't know, something about drawing on the D-pad. I keep saying D-pad, and when it's on the touchpad is actually really satisfying, even though it is a little off and it feels weird at times. There it is. Like, it's not exactly precise. So, we're going in a clockwise fashion. Let's go ahead and do this car right over here. I guess we could start right here. And just remember, yeah, that is perfectly viable and is completely allowed, so don't you even worry about it. Alright, very nice. So, if these three can indeed be solved, then that obviously leaves the odd man out. We can't make this house, and there's also a very particular reason we'll get into a little bit later, but you can try all you want, every manner of combinations, but eventually we're going to come to an impasse here, and we can't solve it. So that leaves with the poorly drawn house as our primary suspect.
Here's my answer.
Oh man. So, with that, very nice.
Critical thinking is the key to success.
Thank you, Miss Layton. I appreciate your kind words of wisdom there. Alright, so, very nice. There's actually a very easy way to tell whether or not a given picture has been drawn in one stroke. The method will reveal to you after you solve one more of these riddles, which, believe it or not, will not be too long from now. But, I think for the most part, we're probably done with this part. It looks like, yeah, we're about 20 minutes. That's some fine work there. I was stuck in this puzzle for I don't know how long. It's like, how is that even possible? Oh, I just had a terrible vision of you running into trouble tonight, so be careful out there, alright? So, she also doubles as a psychic, by the way. Not like Granny Riddleton, but that was a welcome piece of news. Don't worry about me, because I don't scare easily at all. And so, she gives us another piece of trash. Thank you very much. So with that having been said and done, I guess we can head down here. Next time on Professor Layton in the Curious Village, we will go ahead and make some inquiries in the town of St. Mystere about the whereabouts of Mr. Ramon, alright? Hope to see you guys then.